Padmashree, it's great to have you talk to me. Thanks very much for accepting my invite to talk to me.
Thank you. Thank you for spending so much time.
My point of departure is the mention Ravi Venkatesan's book, What the Heck Do I Do with My Life? And he mentions about you. Um, and, uh, and he takes off in 2013 when you almost revolted on your street where you live.
I met Ravi not knowing who he is. We were working on waste segregation in our neighborhood, and we were running, people were not willing to spend and buy buckets to segregate. And I think I had put out a message saying, can someone organize buckets? Because people are not willing to spend even 120 rupees to buy the three sets. So then someone told me that there is a person who has just come to the block and he is organizing a large distribution of buckets. I said, wow, this person I have to meet. So I walked down to the place that he was distributing. He knew another person who knew me. So that's how I got the message. And then I went there and I was absolutely floored. The husband and wife were standing there actually giving out, and then I think I had carried the pamphlets with me which says how to segregate. So then we put one pamphlet in every bucket and we were distributing. At the end of it, I think I got introduced to him and Sonali. But somehow what happened is that kind of continued. And then I was told who he was. Then I said, okay, Chairman Microsoft, yeah, that's great, nice. We have a few chairmans and managing directors here. But I did not know his stature. It was not a designation, I think. What I liked about Ravi is the stature, the kind of faith people have in in what he says and what he does. And I think he carries his very lightly. He carries his stature very lightly. So I was able to, I didn't deal with him like he's some big corporate person. So I could, because I am not. I was a homemaker. I am a homemaker. So I was able to connect with him very easily. And we found that we have a lot of common ground on waste management. And around the same time, I was getting deeper into waste management at a very community level, where making sure people don't mix waste. So he would call me, Ravi would call me sometimes and he'd say, see, this family is not segregating, you come, I will also come. So we both would go and then we would explain to them how they should segregate. And I had gone one step further. I was generally known as Koramangla ka Gunda. So I would open the bag and spread it in front of their house, whatever they have not segregated. So people would get really upset and say, how can you do this? So then we both would say, well, how did you do it? You didn't segregate. Right. So you have to face the consequence of what you did. Otherwise, the rest of the community has to bear what you did. So that's how, and it kind of started giving me a moral backing that Ravi is there. That, he could always talk me out of, if I was trying to get too aggressive or whatever, then he would say, this is not the way to deal with this, or this is the way to deal. And so I think that we had that nice collaboration between us. So maybe that's what he felt, and then he wrote about it.
Innovation is nothing if you are not able to capitalize.
Right.
And you have managed to capitalize your street battle into an innovation that could be a tremendous turning point in terms of hygiene, sanitation, waste management in our country, right?
Right.
So can you talk us through that journey?
I had no big goal set for me that I have to achieve this at the end of it or I am doing some big innovation. It didn't start like that at all. I knew that I have reached a level where we have segregated waste and we have got so much of segregated waste. Now, what do I do with it? When I started scaling up, as you said, creating an innovation was not something that I had planned. It happened. And as we was going around segregating waste, and we, because of the, either it was because of how we were doing it or what we were doing, or the people around me, we all started moving towards creating a situation where we had so much of clean segregated waste, but we didn't know what to do with it. That was a crazy situation to be. And one thing I was sure when I was, even at the very beginning, that the thing that put me off most was waste being ferried across the city or across the town with so much of leachate and smell, and it was a very disgusting sight. Sometimes a vehicle, that compact vehicle is in front of your car and you're right behind, and then you could see things dropping out. That was something I wanted to totally avoid. So what happened is, when you work backwards, the thing that came to my mind was, whatever waste is being generated in Koramangala should be processed in Koramangala itself. Although we produce a lot of waste, Koramangala is a very affluent neighborhood. So automatically generate more waste. So I knew that by this effort, I'll not be able to solve the whole problem, but I'll be able to create a template or a model which we could scale.
Right.
So the other thing, because of my, I'm a biochemist.
Right.
So I had some idea about what waste is and what are the various gases and how it's all those things. So I knew that an aerobic form of processing is not going to work within a city, because within the town there are offices and houses around. We didn't want people saying smell and other things and closing the center.
Right.
That's the last thing I wanted. So then I set out to find a anaerobic form of processing, which is biogas.
Right.
So then I spoke to a few people, and who directed me to a particular vendor, and then I made a visit. I visited all his sites, all his plants. I was quite impressed. He's a young entrepreneur, and so I spoke with him, and then he agreed to come on board extremely reluctantly.
Right.
Because what he thought was, here is a housewife who is talking to me.
Right.
She's not some big person who will write a check or who can do anything. But I think I just had it within me that, what can I lose? At the most, he'll say no.
Right.
Let me go. So I spent 2 hours with him, and then he would sometimes not pick up my call and all that. Anyway, so then I got him. I said, please come, let us try this at ward level. We have got 2 acres of land, which is given by the government for solid waste management. It is a prime land in Koramangala. Let's do something with it. And I said, I will guarantee you feed every day.
Right.
So because if we set up a 5-ton plant and he gets 1 ton of waste, it is not going to be profitable for him.
Right.
Or it's not viable at all.
Right.
So that is where I think my role became even bigger.
Right.
Where I had to ensure every day 5 tons of waste going to that plant.
Right.
And if it didn't, I knew that he's going to suffer a loss.
Right.
So then the hard work started of working with the municipality, the MLA, and then back and forth. But I can tell you one thing in my experience, nobody said no.
Right.
Everybody said okay. It was just how you have to make it happen.
Yeah.
So it ultimately happened.
Somebody had to bell the cat.
Somebody had to bell the cat.
Yeah.
We did it, But when I think back, I said, how did I do it? But at that time, I didn't realize
Right.
what I was doing.
Right.
And then what happened was again the next step that, okay, we are producing all this biogas. Now what do we do with it?
Right.
And also I realized very early that if the municipality gives operational and maintenance cost, generally the plant doesn't work well,
Right.
because there's a lot of delay in the getting the checks and all that. So this vendor will lose interest in whatever that he's doing.
Right.
So I knew at the very beginning every processing unit has to be self-sustaining.
Right.
So how do we make the biogas plant self-sustaining? So we got into a conversation with this young entrepreneur. Carbon Masters is the company. So we said, let us sell the gas. You have to sell the gas somewhere, and we didn't want it to go far. So there was a certain josh that I had, which said everything should be within this area. There should be nothing which leaves. Waste is generated, processed, and the end product also to be used within this area. So what we did was, we signed up a restaurant at the back,
Right.
right behind our center, and we said, will you buy our gas? It will tick 4 sustainable development goals for you and for us.
Right.
So he said fine, and then we signed, and the rest is history. That restaurant is running only on our biogas.
Right.
And this collaboration that we had was so crazy, so many of us. That's when we realized, for waste management, collaboration is the only way.
Right.
We need to have multiple stakeholders who all work towards the same goal. So we got recognized and awarded by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Germany.
Right.
It's called Better Together.
Right.
It's so that's my motto. It's always better together, and that's how we are able to do things. And now we are scaling it to the next level because of Ravi.
You know, you have actually shown a path on multiple levels, which is actually my inspiration for the conversation today. Right? One is collaboration, the second is circular economy, right? And the third is, most importantly, we talk about innovation means commercialization.
Right.
What next? How do you take this now from
Right.
a local to what I call as a glocal? Glocal, right? Which is a combination of global plus local.
That is exactly where I am right now. I'm at the precipice of moving on a bigger scale, because I think I've managed to create a template from which we have learnt, and we now know that we have already understood where the problems are. So again, coming back to Ravi, so one day I got this reward, and generally, so he used to say, nice, very nice, but you know what, you're getting too comfortable. And he said, you need to go bigger, he said. I said, no, I can't, and I'm so happy with Madiwala market and with my waste here. So he says, okay, you're going to be Korumangala waste this thing, and you be happy with it.
Or the Korumangala Gunda.
Gunda,
Yeah.
I know. I said, but I don't know what I can do. I don't know. I'm just I always felt that I was not spruced up enough to be like I can't write out fancy emails and fancy articles and other things. So he said, all those things don't matter.
Right.
You just do what you're doing here, you do on a bigger scale. So actually what happened was, meanwhile, I'm a partner at Social Venture Partners, which Ravi founded many years ago. So that opened a lot of doors for me. So that gave me that push that I was looking at, that corporate connect that I always felt waste needed. Waste, unfortunately, has no corporate involvement at all. So I think that me stepping into SVP gave that push that I was looking at. that there were 10 guys from the corporate world who were saying, just do it, Padmashree, we are there. That gave me a lot of strength and a lot of encouragement to go ahead and do what. So what we did was, so which problem are we trying to solve was the next big question for me.
Right.
We obviously cannot solve Bangalore's waste problem just like that.
Right.
So we thought we will break it up into smaller parts. So that was a journey in itself for trying to understand which is the stream that we want to probably master. So we again collaborated. In fact, this was even a much bigger collaboration than what we did in Koromangala, because we were obviously scaling. We needed more stakeholders. So we got the best brains in waste management, the think tanks, then we got the municipalities, we got MLAs on board. And then we decided that we'll do exactly what we did in Koromangala. We'll do it on a big scale in Yelahanka zone. So this we did at a ward level. Now we will move to a zonal level. The reason we picked Yelahanka was many reasons, but I think what I especially am very partial to is that when you land in Bangalore, you land in Yelahanka.
Yes.
So I want this. I'm a Bangalore Hudgi. I don't want Bangalore to be called garbage city, which many people call. I want it to come back to garden city, clean city. So we picked Yelahanka, that when people land, they'll go through this beautiful garbage-free zone. So we are trying to create a garbage-free zone, which is called as, by the Swachh Bharat, the Swachh Bharat mission calls it 7-star. There are certain parameters you have to follow, which are of course extremely hard, but we have a map, at least road map, to reach there. So we are trying to create a garbage-free zone, a 7-star zone, and just simply scale what we are doing here, there. So we have done sufficient groundwork, and now it's just about putting it into actual work.
Digital helps you to create a human ecosystem.
Right.
Now this can be extrapolated to a global level, which is what we call global.
Since we have created this wonderful model, we have lots and lots of municipalities, states, chief ministers, even the European Union came and spent some time here, because they have no concept of ward level decentralized waste management. And Siddipet came, picked up the exact model, and they have made it happen. But what's happening is, now we want to create a platform where if anybody needs this this recipe or the formula, we'll put it out there, and it's for them to pick it up and do it.
Right.
Because there is no way that one company or me or anyone can go and set up all these processes. So we are trying to create a platform.
Sustainability is all about that. It is just not about, solving today's problem. It is about solving the future's problem.
Yes. I cannot see myself doing anything else, and I cannot see myself not doing it.
Right.
And it's a journey where I've continuously learned. So that this is not a journey I'm going to stop.
Right.
I don't think I have any particular destination. I will tell you that.
Right.
Because at one point when I thought the biogas plant, fixing a biogas plant is my destination,
right,
it's soon, the goalpost is continuously shifting.
Right.
And it's only getting better, and I'm able to complete the cycle better and better. And the cycle is also getting bigger and bigger, that, so many interrelated things. So yes, I would like to be a part of it, but some things I think we would like to just move it and help it to move faster.
Right.
And that is done with technology and the digital platforms and digitalization that you were talking about.
Yes. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
This has been educating. This is also something that you have given me more inputs to start working on.
Right.
And from Giggr, we look forward to a continued engagement. We want you to stay at the center. We want you to continue inspiring the world. And look forward to that creation of the platform that you talked about
Yes.
that can truly globalize
Yes.
the efforts that you started in 2030.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Subbu. I think this whole idea, thanks to Giggr for helping us to globalize this idea of waste management first at community level, then you can do it at a bigger level. So any initiative, once it is successful at a smaller level, if it is completely mastered at that level, surely we'll be able to take it to the next level. And with the help of all of you technologists out there, I hope that we'll be able to reach many, many, many more people.
Great. Thank you very much.